Yeah, guys. What is disk management? So does anyone knows what is disk management?
Yeah, can I try to
Yeah.
explain myself?
Yes.
Yeah, to managing disk means nothing. Disk is a hard disk or hard drive of our PC. So we will manage it. So to managing disk, we can extend it as per our requirement. Uh, we resize the disk. It's nothing but a
Hmm.
management of.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Very nice. So in the file system hierarchy, where the disk information will be available? The file system hierarchy, where the disk information will be available. So while installing the OS, right, a 20 GB hard disk is we took 20 GB hard disk to install the OS. So where the hard disk information will be available under the file system hierarchy. So you see, right, this is
So
the 20 GB hard disk we took for installing the CentOS. So this information will be available under which directory?
Slash dev.
Very good. So while installing the Linux OS, right? So so we took 20 GB to install the OS, right? So in the file system hierarchy, in which directory the hard disk information is available? Under the dev, right? So under the dev, the device info will be available under the slash dev. Means information. Hard disk information will be available under the which disk, which device? Under the slash dev, right? So what is the IP address? 192.168.56.119. Parents change bold open. IP address is 119 or something like. Sorry. The IP address is 121. So after that, I install the again OS for the new session. 192.168.56.21. Change bold open. Continue. One second, guys. 192.168.29.121. So in it, 6. Yeah, the disk information will be available under the slash dev. So I will show you where exactly the disk information available. Yeah. So in the slash dev, right? So for example, So how many hard disks you have? So for example, you have the three hard disks in our SATA disk. SATA disks, right? Yeah. So how many hard disks we have? So this is the SATA hard disk one. This is SATA hard disk two. This is SATA hard disk three. Right. So what these hard disks are? These hard disks are SATA disk. So SATA disks. So SATA hard disk one, SATA disk one, SATA disk two, and SATA disk three. So right. So while while making this hard disk, right, a default file system is created. That file system is null file system. Null file system. Who created SATA? Company created null file system. Null file system. What is that? So SATA disk 1, SATA disk 2, SATA disk 3. These all are the physical disk 1, physical disk 2, physical disk 3. The name it call it as a, so the name it call it as slash dev SD. SD is nothing but a SATA disk. Disk 1 is nothing but a. So slash dev SD B. Disk 2 is nothing but a B. So dev SDC. So three hard disks. How many hard disks you have? One, two, three. So one call it as A, two call it as B, three call it as C. So what is SD? SD is nothing but a SATA disk. SD is nothing but a SATA disk. SD is nothing but a SATA disk. So for example, how much GB this have? This have a, so 20 GB. This have a at 20 GB or something like. So this is also have a 50 GB hard disk. Okay. So these are the hard disk. So while purchasing the, right, while building the hard disk, a SATA company created this file system as a null file system. Which file system, guys? Null file system. Okay. So Linux uses, so Windows uses which file system? Windows knows. So Windows knows which file system? So NTFS. So what is that, guys? Windows knows NTFS. So if you want to use this, hard disk in the Windows, we need to convert from null to, so convert it from null to NTFS. NTFS. The same way, Linux knows Linux knows which file system. So ext2, ext3, ext4, xfs. What is that? So Linux knows ext2, ext3, ext4, and xfs file system, and Windows knows NTFS file system. NTFS file system. So if you want to use this in the Linux, we need to convert from null to ext4 or xfs. ext4 or xfs file systems. Guys, understood? Yeah. So now, so while buying the hard disk, right, something like a null file system is there in all the hard disks. So which file system is null file system? So we need to convert it. So what this is, guys? So what this hard disk space is attached to. this whatever the 20 GB or whatever that is, right? This hard disk space is attached to directory. What the directory is? So for example, var logs or something like so I have two servers. One is app logs, and the another server is DBA log. So I have a two servers. I have a I have a two directories. What these are? Two directories. This is the app logs one directory and DPA logs one directory. Now you understood what is a directory. So I want why app logs? So I want to store the logs, application logs into app logs directory, and I want to store the DBA logs into database so directory, right? So for this purpose, I need to give a storage. I need to give the storage. Which storage I want? So for example, so this having the 50 GB, right? For example, this having the 50 GB. So this hard disk, okay. So this hard disk, so this hard disk having a 20 GB, having 20 GB. But app logs, I need only 10 GB. App logs, I need only 10 GB space, and GBA logs, I need 10 GB space, right? So I want to give this, I want to give this hard disk to the I want to attach this hard disk to this directories. So what those are? The disk is slash dev SDA. So slash dev SDA. So right, I want to convert it to two partitions because so this having 20 GB. So this 20 GB is need to this 20 GB is need to for app logs and DVLX. DVLX for 10 GB and app logs to 10 GB. Right, I want to create a partition for this 10 GB. How you can create it slash dev SDA 1 10 GB and slash dev SDB2 needs a 10 GB. So, okay, I want to create a two partitions. So, from this slash dev SDB. So, right, I want to give slash dev SDB, sorry, SDA1 to app logs and slash dev SDA2 to DBA logs. Right. So DBA log. So you want to attach this space to you want attach this space to app logs directory and the DBA logs directory. So for creating the partitions, so by default it is null file system. We need to convert it to if you want to use in the Linux, we need to convert into ext4 or ext3. So that step needs. And so if you want to create a partitions, so we need to create the partitions. How we can create the partitions? So you can create the partitions by using a command called as a fdisk. Fdisk is nothing but a format disk. What is the command, guys? Fdisk is nothing but a format disk. If you want to format this on so format this hard disk to a partitions, so you can use the fdisk command. What is the command, guys? Fdisk command. Fdisk command is the superbin command or sbin command, guys. Guys, fdisk is the bin command or super bin command.
What is
Super bin command. So because of root user can execute this command only. Right. So and you understood fdisk. So if you want to format disk, the command is fdisk slash dev sd sda. Okay. So then you can create the partitions. Okay. Then you can create the partitions. Two partitions. And so this is the one task for creating the partitions. Then what needs to be done? We need to convert it also. How we can convert, guys? So we can convert from MKFS make file systems to ext4 or XFS. to slash dev sda1 or something like a mkfs dot ext or exfs slash dev sda. So this is the way we need to convert the file system. We need to convert the file system. First, what are the steps we need to add? First, we need to attach the hard disk. So then, so how we can check if the hard disks are attached to your server or not? How you can check the hard disks are attached or not? You can use the lsblk command. What is that? lsblk is nothing but a list of block
Block.
devices. So what is that? LSBLK command is a list of block devices. Block devices means so hard disk information. The hard disk information will be show it in which command, guys? The command is lsblk. Okay, so you can check it lsblk if the new hard disk is added or not. And how do you check the disk information? How do you check the disk information? Disk information by using df. So df is nothing but a disk free command. What is that, guys? So df is nothing but a disk free command. Df hyphen ht. So df hyphen ht. So this is the df-ht command. You will list the you can see the disk information. But if hard disk is in this, it will show which storage is attached to which directory. It will show on the percentage and so. But in this command, it will not display the a new hard disk is attached to your server. It will display only the disk free only. It will display the a disk free only. Once you convert it, right, you need to mount it. So mount will be in two ways. One is a temporary mount and so permanent mount. What is that? A temporary mount and a permanent mount. So mount will be two types. One is permanent and temporary mount. Okay, so how we can mount it, guys? Mount will be So mount is a two ways. One is a temporary mount and so permanent mount. Okay. So we need to attach this space to this directory, right? This space to this directory. So what is the way? So the way is two types. One is mount. So mount is two types. One is a temporary mount and the other one is permanent mount. So what is that? Temporary mount and permanent mount. So temporary mount, how we can create a temporary mount? Mount is the command mount slash dev sda1 to which directory you want to mount app logs. Okay, so permanent mount. So what is the permanent mount? Permanent mount we need to specify it in the va slash etc fs tab. So what is the difference between temporary mount and permanent mount? I will tell you. So what is the difference between temporary mount and permanent mount? I will tell you. Understood? So nothing worry about it. A disk management, just so if it is a disk, the disk by default you will get the null file system, but the Linux knows only the file system are ext2, ext3, ext4, xfs. Okay, so we need to convert it to null to ext4 or xfs. Before that, so we need to create the partitions. Partitions like so for example, this hard disk want to create a partition under the standard and LVM partitions. So what is that? The standard and LVM. So what is standard and what is LVM? So we don't need LVM, guys. Just you you just listen what is LVM and what is standard. Standard is nothing but this is the 10 GB, right? You attached a 10 GB to so this. this last SDA. So this 10 GB has a standard. We cannot increase or we cannot decrease. So if it is a LVM, the partition table is a LVM. So 80. So it is a 80 LVM. We can extend or we can reduce. So that is the meaning of standard and LVM. So the partition is standard is nothing but we cannot reduce or we cannot extend. So LVM is nothing but we can extend and we can reduce. Okay, guys, understood? So is it very easy? Srinivas, Ishwar, Varsha, guys,
Yeah,
guys, understood? Pujita, Srihita, Mahesh.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
So
yeah.
I want to attach a space to a particular directory. So what's need to be done? First, we need to add the hard disk. Then we need to create the partitions. Then we can attach it to the So create the partition, then convert the from null to mk.ext2, then we can mount it. Either we can mount a temporary mount or a permanent mount. You guys understood?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Login as a root, red hat. What is the IP address? Record 292 29 or 120. NPS 8. I, let's see, 29 or 121 we are able to connect or not. 52.168.56. Before that, let me bring this CMD to 168.29.120 parents, Paul, session, and set to product. Game settings, parents change, go into, okay. Yeah, guys. So df hyphen hd. So what is this command, guys? This command is nothing but a disk free command. What this command is? Disk free command. It will display the information about the mount point. So it will display the information about the mount point. Okay. So what is this? The file system is so TMPS, here you see guys, this is the hard disk slash dev SDB1. SDB1, the file system type is XFS. So it is mounted to slash boot. The same like SDB. So if you see LSBLK, so here SDA is created two partitions. One is SDB, SDA1 and SDA2. SDA2 having slap and slash. So what these two are the LVM partition. This is the standard partition. So in the LVM partition, so 17 GB is attached to slash and 1 GB is attached to boot. Okay, 2 GB is attached to swap. 2 GB is attached to swap. Slash boot is the standard partition. This is the LVM partition. Is understood? So LSVLK only one hard disk is showing, and this hard disk is having two partitions, and it is attached to slash and slash boot. So you see, this is the slash boot attached to. So this is attached to slash. But here, what we will see the difference between LSBLK and DF-HT. In the LSBLK, it will just show the partition and attached to, and the partition attached to. Here, you see the file system, type of the file system, size, used, available, usage, mounted usage mounted. So, okay, so if the new hard disk is added to the this server, here to the server, so it is not showing in the df-ht because of, so whatever the hard disks are mounted to the mount point, right? That only it will display in the df-ht. But a new is hard disk is added, that is not attached to any directory, but also it will be shown in the lsblk command. SBLK command. Okay, is there any new hard disks are available? No, right? Let's add another hard disk, right? A virtual hard disk to this server. So for this purpose, okay, let's show. I will show you that thing also. Yeah, go to settings. The storage, right? Storage, we need to add another hard disk for the 20 GB or something like. Let's see. Try to add here. It is disabled. So these options are disabled because of the server is in running state. If the server is in running state, we cannot add the disk in the on-fly manner. But in the real time, if it is a virtualization VMware, so nowadays the option is available, I think. Okay, the option is available. Okay, so we need to stop the server if you want to add hard disk. Init 0. Yeah. So now go to settings and go to the storage. Then you see it is enabled. Add a hard disk, create a hard disk, how much? 20 GB, finish. And this is the one you can choose, right? Center S9 underscore 1 VDI. So this is the 20 GB hard disk is added. Okay. Okay. Now how many hard disks are added? We have a two hard disks. So a new hard disk also added to the server. So new hard disk file system type is null. So start this server. So what we can do, guys? So what are the steps we need to do? First, add a new hard disk to the server mission. Yes, we added a 20 GB hard disk. Then step two, create the partitions. Right? So we can create the partitions. Then step three, so something like create a mount points, create a directories, app logs and DBA logs. Then create the file system, convert the file system, then mount the file system. Right? 56.119. Now I got the IP address. Okay, or else just restart the session also. It will otherwise Red Hat. Yeah. So how many hard disks are attached, guys? Guys, before how many hard disks are attached? Guys, speak out, guys. Before how many
One
hard
artist,
disks are attached? One hard disk. What that
one
is?
SDA.
Yes, very good. So this hard disk is SDA, and we attached another hard disk. That hard disk name should be SDB. Second hard disk, right?
Mm.
So what is the name? Name of the second hard disk? The name of the second hard
S
disk is SDB.
STV.
In which command we can see if the new hard disk is added or not? In which command we can see? We can see it in the df-ht or lsblk. Yes, which command?
LSBLK.
Yes, very. What is that? LSBLK. So Once we executed the LSBLK, a new hard disk is added with 20 GB. Is this attached to any mount point, any directory? Is this attached to any
No,
directory? No. So right.
no.
So how we can format this hard disk? How we can format this hard disk, guys? What is the command to format this hard disk? I want to create a two partitions. One is SDB1, SDB2. Okay, right? How we can format this hard disk?
F disk.
Yeah. Fdisk hyphen L slash dev SDB SDA. You can check the L means list. So what are the partitions are available for this hard disk? It will show it. So SDA and SDA1 and SDA2. So right. So I want to check the check it for the SDB. So any partitions created? No. So now I want to create the partitions. How you can create? Fdisk command. Fdisk slash dev SDB. Okay. So M for help, guys. You can see M for help. So something like what is that? We want to create a new partition. So how you can create? You can use the add a new partition. You can use the hyphen N option. List L. Okay. You want to delete the partition? Delete. Okay. Change the partition type. Type means standard and LVM. So right. So T. Okay. So you want to write the table. You want to split the table. Okay. Yes. So what is that? I want to create a new partition. So new partitions are SDA1, SDB1 and SDB2. I want to create a two partitions. So the partitions are primary, you guys. Just so first partition. So first sector, you leave it, guys. In the second sector, so how much GB you need? 10 G. You see, right? So plus or minus size, kilobytes or megabytes or gigabytes or terabytes or terabyte. I wanted plus size 10 gigabytes. Okay. The last sector I'm taking. Okay, so created a new partition of sorry guys, created a new partition one of type Linux and the size is 10 GB. So which one? So print. So you see, so one is created slash dev SDB1 and the size is 10 GB. The partition ID is 8, type is Linux. If it is a standard, the partition ID is partition table ID is 83. If it is a LVM, 80. So do you want to change the partition ID? If you want to change, you can use the T option. So list L is nothing but a list. So 83 is nothing but a, what is that, guys? So 83 is nothing but a standard partition and 8E. What is that? 8E is nothing but a LVM. So if you want to change 8E, so something like 8E, so you can use ATM. 8V. It is changed from standard to LVM. Again, I want to change from LVM to standard. 83 partition table. Okay. So W is nothing but a writer. Okay. So W is nothing but a writer. So let's see S disk F disk slash F disk FNL slash the SDB. Yes, before there is no partition created. Now it is a created a the partition slash the SDB1. Okay, 10 GB with the standard partition. So I want to create another partition with 10 GB. Okay. So N is nothing but a new, P is nothing but a primary, 2 is nothing but a second partition. So I'm leaving first sector and last sector also because of, so whatever the remaining space is there, right? So if you want, you can give 10 GB or you can enter the entire, whatever the space, remaining space is there, right? That space will taken, guys. So right, W. Now check the. So we have created two partitions. One is dash love SDB1 slash dev SDB2 LSBLK. Now let's see. So yeah, this is the new hard disk with 20 GB. So SDB1 is 10 GB, SDB2 is 10 GB. Now, yeah. So what is the difference between temporary mount point and permanent mount point? So temporary mount point. So when you will mount while running the OS, so this is the running OS, and it will unmount if you reboot the server. If you reboot the server. So okay, so this mount will do while running the server. If the server is rebooted, this mount point will erase. This mount point will unmount. So if you keep it in the va/etc tab, so whenever the server reboot, right, first shutdown, it will unmount the all the file system. Then while running the server, right, it will check it in the /etc tab entries. Yeah, if the entry is there, it will automatically mount after reboot the server. So this is the difference between temporary mount and a permanent mount. So temporary mount while rebooting time it will erase, but the permanent mount. So while rebooting also it will automatically mount after the rebooting. After the reboot while rebooting. Yes, I will tell you that. Yeah. So now partitions are created. What is the second step, guys? Second step is nothing but step two. Step one, add the partition. Step two is nothing but create the partition. Step 3 is nothing but create the directories, right? So how you can create the directories? Guys, I want to create that. Guys, I want to create these two directories. How you can create it, guys? I want to create a directory in the Linux.
mkdir command is used to make directory.
mkdir slash
Dead.
apps log. Okay. mkdir slash dba logs. I created these two directories and I want a 10 GB space for these two directories. So how you can do it? We can mount that hard disk space to these directories. What are those, guys? So I am mounting through the temporary mount. Temporary mount. How we can do the temporary mount? So how we can do the temporary mode? So mount slash dev sdb1 app logs. What is that, guys? Mount is the
Mount
command. So mount is the command to
slash
mount it. Hello?
slash
Hello? Is anyone asking? Srihitana?
See,
Yeah, Srihita.
it's
I'm not asking anything.
Okay. So mount to slash dev. What is the partition name? Slash db sdb1. The first partition. What are the first 10 GB partition sdb1? Want to attach it to app logs directory. So what is that? App logs mount point does not exist. Slash dev sdb1 app logs mount. What this is? Okay. Slash dev
I
sdb1.
have a one doubt, sir. Yes, DB1. Is it
Hmm?
device name or what?
Yeah, yeah. This is the device name, right?
Yes, DB1. Okay. And app logs is a directory or not?
Yeah, app logs is the directory. So this directory wants a 10 GB space. This space is available in the this hard disk slash dev sdb1. So that's the reason I am attaching this hard disk space to directory. This hard disk space to directory. Mount point does not exist. Why here? App logs. What is the name we created, guys? mkdir apps logs. Okay, sorry. What is that, guys? Apps logs we created. Yeah. So wrong FS type. So wrong FS type. FS type is nothing but a file system type. Bad option, bad superflags, missing code page or helper program rather error. So why we are getting this error, guys? So what we are missed? We created the file system. But initially the file system made up with which file system, guys? Guys, which file system? Null file system. But if you want to use this in the Linux, we need a ext2, ext3, or XFS, right? But we created the partitions, but we missed to convert the partition from null to ext2 or XFS. What is the command, guys? mkfs.ext4 / sdb1. So that is the reason we are unable to mount it. What is that? How to convert, guide? Mkfs make file system ext4 to /dev sdb1. Okay. Now let's try to mount as a temporary mount. Is it mounted? Yes, command executed. df-ht. Is this mounted, guys? Yep, mounted. So /dev sdb1 and the file system is ext4 and attached to app logs. Now 10 GB is the 10 GB space is attached to app logs. Again, I want to do it for the so XFS is another file system. You can use XFS or MKT. So ext4 sdb2. Yeah, this is also created. Now mount /dev sdb to dba logs mounted. Yeah. So what is this? So now you understood? LSBLK. So before it is not created the partitions, right? There is no hard disk. Then we attached the hard disk, raw hard disk. Then we created the partitions. Then we created the partition. Then we attached the partition to a directory. We attached that space to the directories. You guys understood? Yeah. So what this is, while mounting through the mount command, it is nothing but a temporary mount. So while rebooting your server, it will unmount it. Let's see, guys. Guys. So ping command. So what is that? So ping is nothing but the server is in. Are you able to access the server or not? Or something like server is in active running or not? Ping the what is the 192.168.56.112 or 1111? So guys, so reply is nothing but a server is in. So server is in running. So it is not replying something like there might be a network issue, there might be a server is in shutdown state. Okay, you guys can troubleshoot it. So restart, root, duplicate session, root, red hat. Okay, so now df-ht. Is that mount points mounted after reboot or not, guys? After rebooted or
No.
not? No, right? So this is nothing but a temporary mount. I want a permanent mount. I want to, after reboot also, I want to mount it again, right? So it will not unmount even if the reboot the mission, right? So where we need to add it? We need to add it in the /etc fs tab file. So we will add the entries in the /etc fs tab file. So these are the root. These all are after rebooting also. These all are mounted again. But so whatever we mounted newly, the app logs and DBA logs. So those are not mounted because of they mounted through as a temporary mount. Maybe these two are the permanent mount. Let's see if the entries are there in the va/it tab. Yes, sir. Slash, boot, none, swap. These all are available in the /etcfs tab entry. While reboot also, that is the reason these all are attached again. These all are mounted again. Okay. So these all are the 5 entries, guys. So this is nothing but the disk. So this is nothing but a hard disk information and the file system. So mount point and the file system defaults 00. This is one is FSCK, one is a dump. FSCK is nothing but a file system checking. So while mounting, the file system will be checking, right? 0 is nothing but a disabled, 1 is nothing but a enabled. If you put the N, it will mount, it will check, you guys. It will check. So what are those? Slash dev SDB1 to apps log, apps log and XFS file system and defaults. Okay, okay. For example, this is boot. Portals. Yeah. So this is a applux is a XFS4 or ext4, guys. ext4, I think. ext4 file system defaults and 0. The other one is slash dev sdb2. Guys, tell me what is the file directory name? What is the directory name?
Apps log.
dba apps
Logs.
log. Let me see it as the directory names. Apps logs, db logs, apps logs, db logs, apps logs, dba logs, db logs or dba logs, dba logs.
DBA
Okay. Yes, dba logs. So what is the file system type we created, guys? dba logs. What is that? XFS.
XFS.
So defaults to three. Okay. WQ. Okay. Now we added all the entries in the FS tab. VA is nothing but a create a modify and create,
Read.
modify and read. So cat is nothing but a just read the file. Okay. Yeah. So we added these two. Let's. So if you use the mount type in a command. So it will check it in the mount. It will check it in the VA slash ETFS tab entries. So what are the mount points are not mounted? Those will be mounted. Okay. So df5.ht. Yes, app logs, DBA logs are not mounted, but these are in the slash etc fs tab entries. So if you execute the mount type and a mount of any hint your FS type has been modified, but the system they still use the old kernel. New rollout system CTL daemon reload df5.ht. You see, guys. So before df5.ht, so those are not mounted. So while using the mount hyphen a means mount r, whatever the entries in the slash etc fs tab, right? Those entries are created, those entries are attached, those entries are mounted. Now I am doing the init 6 for the rebooting. Let's see after this, is it rebooting or not? To reply, right? Root red hat df pipe ht. Is it mounted, guys? After reboot also, is it mounted or no? Is it mounted?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Now understood disk management. Yeah. How we can unmount this, guys? You mount. What is the command? Unmount purpose. You mount slash apps logs slash DPA logs df5.ht is equals. Is it unmounted? Right? So if you how you can mount it by use while running the system, mount hyphen a. So if the entries are there in the VA slash etc tab, so that the entries are available in the FS tab, then only it will mount, guys. Otherwise, it will not mount it. It will not mount it. So if you don't want to mount these commands after reboot, okay. So even if rebooted, I don't want to mount these. So what you can do before it, you can add the hash. Hash is nothing but a command. It will not execute. It will not execute these commands. It will not execute these commands. Init 6. You see, guys. If you see reply, you see request timed out because of the server is in shutdown state means or you are unable to reach the server that you are unable to reach the server. Still, yeah, now it's rebooted. The server is rebooted. Let's do restart. Root red hat df5.ht. Is it mounted? No, it's not mounted. So where in the real time where we exactly use these scenarios. So for example, that mount points having 2 TB, 1 TB, 500 GB hard disk, right? So that time, so safely we are using a uncomment, we are using a comment on that EFS tab entries after restarting it. So we can remove that in the EA slash ETCFS tab entries. Then we can start that. We can mount that mount points. So in the real time, so what we will do if it is a something like 1 TB or 500 TB hard disk, right? So if those are not mounted, the system will take time to reboot it. So that to avoiding that situation, so we are unmounting the mount points before reboot. Then after reboot, we can uncomment those mount points and use the mount a command to mount it. Okay, guys. So, for example, while doing the patching or upgradation, whatever it may be, guys, or something like a deployment, right? Yeah. So now you understood you want to. So, for example, CD apps logs. I'm using this one now. Duplicate session root red hat. Now I'm trying to unmount it. You mount hyphen, you mount slash apps logs. You see, so you are trying to unmount it, but you mount apps log target is busy. So while using this mount point, right, we cannot unmount. So I want to unmount even if it is using what is the command? You mount you mount hyphen L slash apps log. Okay, it's executed the command even if it is uses. So hyphen L is nothing but a forcefully unmounted. So forcefully unmounted. Guys understood? The package management. Guys understood or no?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, Hari.
yeah. What
Yeah,
about Srinivas Ishwar? You already know, right, guys?
yeah,
Mahesh,
already, yeah, already.
sorry. So what is this, guys? While running, so create a hard disk LSBLK and DF5 DF5 I will tell you tomorrow, guys. So add a hard disk, create a partitions, then create the partitions and create the directories and convert that. and then create a temporary mount and a permanent mount. So how to unmount it. Okay, yes, understood. We'll start tomorrow. Package management. Mostly we'll complete tomorrow package management, and tomorrow, after tomorrow, we show you the deployment. So generally how they are deploying in the real time. Okay. So I will show it on the
Yeah.
Apache and Tomcat. I will show it Apache and Tomcat web servers how to deploy the application. Okay. Yes, understood?
Okay.
Yep, thank you,
Okay, sir.
guys. We'll continue from tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm, yeah. So I think Srinivas, you are using this disk information, right? Disk management. Srinivas,
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
so every day are using or something like how you are.
In previous team, every day we are using, but now I'm in a different team,
Okay, okay.
migration team only. Now
Yeah.
I'm not doing any operation related activities.
Okay, okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
We'll continue from tomorrow.